back to the season premiere. That's right, we're in season 2 time of a whole new pod. I am top billed Lucas Melby.
And I am Jacob Telejohn.
No special guest star, though. Not this week.
Not this week.
But that's right, most television series run for 50 episodes, right? And then you get a new season.
Yeah.
So, no, we're kind of like the Monday Night Raw of the world, where it just runs weekly, but then every once in a while they'll be like, this is the season premiere. Randomly, episode 1075. 51. Season premiere.
Wow.
All your favorite characters are coming back, like
Sam Blazing, Dustin Levant.
Nope. But what's that? It's Quince.
It's Quince.
Oh, man. It's Quince is here. He just came in through the door and everybody in the audience laughed and clapped.
Oh, no.
We're kind of blow your minds right now because while we're recording this, you'll be listening to this after we've recorded our special bonus 50 episode retrospective.
That comes later. You've listened to that
We haven't recorded
before.
that yet, but you've already listened to it.
Yeah.
We're blowing. I'm kind of blowing my mind. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
fully. This is like a Christopher Nolan movie.
Inception.
We gotta wrap our minds around this.
Wow. I assume it was great and got great reception. Thank you for your responses.
We were going to maybe just do a giant episode, but then I've got some family coming over, so our recording times are maybe going to get a little delayed. So it's like, we'll do a bonus episode, separate that out, less editing crunch for Lucas, and then more time for a slightly longer episode, though the movie we're covering today is actually close to one of the shortest DCOMs. I think the only one I know off the top of my head that is shorter is the fan favorite, apparently, The Jenny Project.
Wow.
75 minutes, but the movie we watched today, Stuck in the Suburbs, a nice 78. As I told Jacob, you love to see it.
You love to see it.
You love to see it.
LTSI. It wasn't a, I don't feel like it flew by. I don't know. Like, I feel like there was enough content in the movie itself. It wasn't like a...
It was a pretty jam-packed, even with some regurgitated montage scenes, multiples of those. But since we, again, behind the scenes, got more of a little bit of a jam-packed recording date, let's just get right into this.
Let's go.
Stuck in the Suburbs. Very fitting, but also kind of like off-putting intro, because it kind of felt like we were watching the first episode of a sitcom or something, because the way the credits are set up, we get the Stuck in the Suburbs title sequence. I think the title is made out of like street signs. So Stuck In is on the one street sign and then the suburbs. So we're talking about the corner of Stuck In and the suburbs.
And then when they start introducing all of the characters' names, like their actual like actor, actresses' names, are mixed into newspaper articles or magazine articles.
Magazines. Lots of magazine covers of...
with Jordan Cahill.
So Jordan Cahill, who is played by... I can't remember the actor's name, but it's like, is this the name of this character or this person on this magazine? And it gets really kind of confusing. Yeah. But it was a stylish take, and certainly
it was different. It was
fitting for a focus on pop stars, which is kind of more what this movie is about than actual suburbia.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because this is probably, I think this would be post-American Beauty. Around like the 90s, early 2000s, there's lots of media about growing up in the suburbs, and everybody's like overly medicated, ADHD kids, depressed moms on like, Xanax or whatever, and how it fucks you up. Charlie Bartlett and, the Chump Scrubber,
Charlie
American
Bartlett,
Beauty,
that was a good movie.
American Beauty, all that kind of shit.
But no.
So then when I'm like, that's kind of weird for Disney to do a movie about how the suburbs is a bad place, because that is very like kind of mature, dark kind of subject matter.
But like you were saying, the movie's not really outside of like saving the one old house or whatever. It's pretty much just, okay, this is like a pop star's life.
Yep, it's another teeny bopper DCOM that
the Suburbs doesn't play too big of a role.
If they had just called this Z3 and made Jordan Cahill Protozoa,
that would have been great.
That would basically just be Xenon 1 anyways.
Yes.
So we're introduced to our main character, Brittany, who's coming home from soccer practice.
Played by Danielle Panabaker.
Looking at her IMDb, I think probably her biggest credit is, it seems she's the main character on the CW Flash show. I think she's been in 150 plus episodes of that.
I remember.
I know her as, it's actually minor spoilers for the Friday the 13th remake. She comes off as she's going to be like the survivor girl in that, because she's the only girl in that who, well, one of two girls that doesn't get naked. The actual survivor girl doesn't get naked. But then Danielle Panabaker, who seems to be coded as like she is going to survive,
shows her
actually
tits and then dies.
She dies at the end.
Oh.
I think she's decent in that movie. I actually like the Friday the 13th
and she looks
remake.
the same. She doesn't age. She's an ageless wonder.
Sure.
I think she looks the same in Flash.
Yeah, no, she aged gracefully. So she's dropped off by her mom, or her friend's mom from soccer practice.
Who drops her off at a wrong house, and then another wrong house, and then they say, is this your house?
Oh, you sure? So if my address changed and
My
a
door
completely
color
different
changed,
street,
and
so
we're in a completely different fucking neighborhood.
And the neighborhood they are in, the suburban development, all the houses look the same.
Look all the same.
Which is just about the harshest commentary that comes off about the suburbs in this movie.
I would agree.
But eventually they drop her off at Brittany's house.
But it's 4:00.
You know what that means? Half hour till Jeopardy starts.
Oh, Jordan Cahill! Jordan!
Yeah, in this world's like MTV movie or MTV music video showcase.
New music videos released at 4 or whatever on whatever this day is.
Yeah, so they rush into her house and we see Brittany's little brother Cooper, who is on the couch playing video games, which I thought was more of like an important character trait of him being like techie. But Cooper is probably one of the most disturbing characters.
Yeah, he's a creepy dude.
We've encountered in a DCOM. He comes off as demonic.
He's just creepy.
His face is...
He makes very goofy faces.
He makes goofy faces.
He's a stalker. He'll hide in your pants.
So his bit is he makes goofy faces, and he always is in Brittany's room hiding somewhere.
Always. I mean, always. There's never a moment where we don't see him in her room, where she has to find him. Never a moment.
The vibe I get from him is maybe like the Omen kid.
He smells her underwear.
Children of the Corn or something. He wants you too, Brittany. So he's very creepy, but they kick him off of the video game and the couch so they can watch Jordan's music video. Then we get what I can best describe, though I think there was maybe some... No, it was all boys in Smart House, right? The dance number in Smart House. This is basically female Smart House, where they're watching the music video and they have this whole choreographed dance number.
And then they tip over the sofa and they laugh and they giggle. The finale
is they jump up on the sofa, do kind of like you could see somebody do that in a musical or something.
And then their cleats scratch across each other's faces and they're bleeding everywhere.
But we're breezing over this, but it was probably about 90 seconds to 2 minutes of just dancing, cutting between the music video and them dancing.
And the music video, like, Jordan's got some locks.
Yes, Jordan's
the music video looks like a real music video. Like, it's good. Like, it's another good music video that we've seen in like a couple other DCOMs, I would say.
Yeah. Maybe they mentioned it on like those fake magazine covers, but Jordan's defining characteristic is his hair. He's got a big floppy
mane. They call it the lion's mane.
Looks a little Jonathan Taylor Thomas like.
Yeah. And we were saying he's probably like fitting the role of like a Justin Timberlake. I can't really think of any other really popular. Aaron Carter maybe.
Justin was bigger than Aaron Carter.
Yeah, but
I may be a 90s kid. I don't actually identify too much as a 90s kid.
Those were the two bigger ones.
Joey Fatone? Joey Fat One? Yeah, no, Justin was the biggest breakout between Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, I'd say. So that night, Brittany's mom is making the rounds as we get further character revelations. We see her little brother playing a Game Boy SP.
Yeah.
So he does play video games, and he like is playing it standing up, and then he steps on a toy car or something.
There's so much
over.
shitty toys on the floor. Like there's like dozens of just weird small toys. And they fly in the air, and then
it was very unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then we meet her older sister, who is the smart, responsible one.
Who just doesn't really serve a role, drives, I guess. She drives them around when they need to
She serves the role of Protozoa in Z3, where people need to get around places, so this character is in the movie.
Yeah.
And then she stops by Brittany, who is not doing her homework. She's playing a song on the acoustic guitar.
She's writing a song. She's working on writing a song.
And the mom hears some lyrics, and they come off as very... emo, like, oh, I'm so lost in this world. And then the mom's like, oh, what's that? And then there's a really long conversation about how,
schoolwork.
No, I'm coming up with a mnemonic device
To memorize
then
my
what are these lyrics
geography.
for? Oh, it's to remember
Rhode Island.
the Beyonce accords, because she sees like Beyonce in a magazine or something.
It was
and
dumb.
it just lasted for like 3 minutes, and it wasn't funny at all.
No, it was weird.
But the main takeaway is she doesn't like living in the suburbs.
Well, and she writes music.
She is stuck in the suburbs writing music.
Yes, which is a characteristic of somebody else in this movie.
Yeah, big reveal.
Wow.
So then the mom she's talking to Brittany, gets interrupted by a very clueless Mean Girls style split screen 4-way phone call with all of her soccer friends who were in the car with her, but they're all huge fans of Jordan Cahill, and he's coming to town. He's coming to this random suburb.
Yeah.
We don't really know where it is, but at least the suburban
California.
part exists in California, probably because there's palm trees around.
Yeah, I don't know why'd they get so lucky. Just it was the fate of the movie, I think. Just for movie purposes.
Oh, well, yeah. No, it's a very... Whoa, you're blowing my fucking mind, man.
There's some cool
I'm
places.
sure you already got some of this in-depth analysis in our retrospective of all the things we learned about DCOMs.
It's very convenient for every movie for certain things to happen.
There's always a big game.
Yeah.
There's always like a plot. Like
Yes.
these movies are about things. Like wow, it kind of blows my mind. So then we get a kind of classic suburban family getting ready in the morning. Oh no, Dad's got to get dressed for work. Eating breakfast.
And Dad and Mom again. Mom, only purpose of the movie is she wants to save a house. Dad, literally nothing. He serves no purpose.
He's business dad.
He makes a good Sunday. A mean Sunday he does. He makes a...
I'd say that's like a criminal Sunday. At one point later on in the movie, Brittany is eating
a gallon.
A giant out of like a giant mixing bowl that is
Yeah.
basically filled with a gallon of ice cream and a mountain of whipped cream, and she's eating a banana split sundae.
Yes.
So that's just diabetes waiting to happen. Brittany gets sent back to her room because she's wearing like, those are some hussy clothes, little girl.
Hussy. You can
Exposed
see her
midriff.
belly button.
So she comes back down after getting changed. Oh no, the family left without me.
Yeah.
Which
How'd
is
she even
kind
get
of-
to school?
And she got that bike, but
Oh.
that kind of, it doesn't really go anywhere.
No, that was
she
kind
doesn't,
of weird.
I don't think feel like too alienated or left out by her family. It's not a Kevin McAllister
It
situation
doesn't
or anything.
lead to anything. She's just like, oh, well.
At school, she makes a joke saying like, yeah, if it was only once, that'd be kind of funny, but it happens all the time. But again,
I didn't catch that.
it doesn't necessarily go anywhere.
No.
At the lockers, all of the soccer fangirls are together, and they open their lockers one at a time, and they all
kiss
have
Jordan Cahill a
good morning, Jordan, because they all have shrines to Jordan within
pictures
their
and
locker.
Stickers
And then we get the dramatic intro of
Brenda.
everybody's
Song.
favorite, Brenda Song, who now has been in three DCOMs and
Eventually 4, maybe 5.
maybe 5 as well. Similar to how she is sometimes portrayed with Lindsay Lohan in Get a Clue.
It's a very strange introduction.
Where she's walking into the school,
There's wind.
everybody, girls, boys, mouths agape,
Drooling.
steam coming out of their ears,
Drooling.
a wooging left and right.
And her hair is blowing in the
there's
wind.
A fan
They have, like,
blowing her hair. She's walking in slow-mo as she's kind of catwalking
some
down
real
the
Pepe
hallway.
Le Pew vibes going on here.
Just being creepy.
Yes. They canceled Pepe. Yes.
So Natasha is like, "Oh, excuse me, girls, that's my locker." And then
2-4.
yes, she does say 214 is my locker.
Yes.
And then Brittany starts to talk to her. She's like, "Oh, are you new?" And Natasha, oh yeah, her name's Natasha Kwan Schultz. That's Brenda Song's name.
Her mother is of Asian descent, but we do not see her father.
Yes. So she talks about here that, oh, I'm new. My parents are divorced. I haven't been here because I was living in Europe.
My dad does
had
all
some
this
stays
awesome
in
stuff.
New York. So Brittany, being, oh, I hate the suburbs, she wants to travel the world. So she's immediately enamored with Natasha.
Yes.
And kind of drops her friends like immediately.
Yeah, we don't really see her friends much the rest of the movie.
And Natasha sees the girls talking about Jordan or looking at their lockers, and she says, "Who's that?" Brittany, recognizing that, maybe it's kind of lame to be obsessed with this boy pop star, then says, "Oh, it's Jordan Cahill. He's all right, I guess, but I'm not super crazy into him." Fast forward to Natasha coming over to Brittany's house. Brittany has to distract Natasha with her mom real quick so she can run up to her room and tear down the majority of her Jordan Cahill posters and magazine cutouts.
She's got a lot, and
she still leaves some up, which I guess is okay, because she's like, hey, he's okay. I'll have like a poster or two. That's how I operate with like anime figurines, where I'm like, the show's not that great, but that girl's kind of cute.
Yes. But Brittany does, we do kind of see later on that she had picked up on, there are moments where she picks up on that she's just lying, that she is like a Cahill fan. Like before, I think all that stuff happened.
So then up in Brittany's room, the two bond over both hating the Suburbs.
Music. And she noticed her guitar.
Yep, she sees her guitar, reads some of her lyrics, and he's like,
"This is good shit.
You should play in like a coffee house."
Yes. She's like, "Really? You think so?"
Then there's another quick split screen call with her friends who...
Oh, her brother's probably in there.
Yeah, I don't specifically remember how he's in there here, but it's likely...
I think he's in the closet.
Yeah, you might be right. He was in the closet this time.
Yeah.
But
yes, whenever they're in a room, he's always in a room. Yeah. I do not remember.
At this point already, I've probably already ignored like 2 reveals
he's
for him.
Always like it's like 6 times.
Brittany's friends say, "Oh my gosh, Jordan Cahill's filming his music video around the street." She first gets really excited, but then she has to downplay it and say, "Hey, Natasha, I guess this guy he's like doing a thing around here. Do you want to go?" And Natasha says, "Oh yeah, that'd be cool."
It'd be great to see all the fans go, and
make
Jordan.
fun of them, because
it's funny though, because she says, watch all of her fans go, "Oh my God, Jordan, I love you," and then it just cuts to Danielle doing, "Oh my God, Jordan, I love you."
Yeah,
and then she's like, "You're really good at this."
But then shortly afterwards, Natasha, Brenda Song, is freaking out over Jordan Cahill too, and I didn't really understand that.
No. Nobody does. She just wanted to fit in.
So while the girls are fangirling out, we get to see Jordan up front and personal, very personal, as we see him talking to the director, his manager, his assistant. Kind of he's not feeling the vibe of this new song, this direction for this music video. He's tired of strutting around, making his hands do weird gestures to make girls appear, whatever that really means.
And he hates raisins.
Yeah, I guess he hates raisins, which I'm not necessarily pro raisins, so I can kind of get behind that.
I don't mind.
You just get one of those big jars of raisins that are shown in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of he doesn't really know who he is. Again, this is another Disney movie that is critical of the record industry, of these corporate ideas and commodifying these artists into a certain image, which is definitely what Disney does.
Yeah.
So that's interesting how this keeps coming back.
They make fun of themselves over and over again.
He's talking about, "Hey, I've written these alternative lyrics for this song," and the manager says, "Oh, that sounds great, but for not for you, for somebody else. These lyrics would be good.
They're good for somebody else."
So they decide to break the shoot for the day, and then Jordan has like a Palm Pilot that he gives to his assistant Eddie,
who is supposed to have backed up files for like what sounds like years. And he just hasn't. He's just lazy.
He asked him to back up his phone onto a hard disk.
Yes.
And I didn't have a Palm Pilot back in 2004, but I'm questioning some of the functionality of this thing, as well as the ability to back it up.
Yes.
But Jordan essentially has his whole life on his phone, and we'll see what that really means as the movie progresses.
What does it mean?
Because Eddie, his assistant, who is also a childhood friend, or at least came up in the business working with...
they were in a band together. We know that. We don't know what before that.
But now Eddie's just the assistant. So he gives the phone to Eddie On their way out, they somehow bump into Brittany, and we get a classic phone
swap.
Whoops-a-doo.
Yeah.
And
well, like they completely dumped out their bags. Well, she dumped out her bag first, and then he tripped over her shit.
Brittany's
and then
purse gets knocked down, and then Eddie's Jordan man purse or whatever gets knocked down, and he's like, "Oh, I got that chain wallet's mine," but then they somehow screw up phones.
Yes, exactly. That'd be the most important thing. How is he grabbing a pink phone, and how is she grabbing a black phone? Who knows? But it happened. Is what
it happened, and then the rest of the movie happened.
Yeah, I mean, without
all hinges on.
Isn't that crazy? There's always just that one moment in a movie. If that didn't happen, this movie wouldn't have happened. Like, what are the odds?
That is true, and there's also other sequences that come up soon that if they didn't happen, the rest of the movie wouldn't have happened.
It's crazy.
And personally, I would have preferred it to be more of a kind of satire, Edward Scissorhands look at the suburbs, but instead let's worry about a pop star. Yes. But they do some fun stuff with the pop star angle.
Oh yeah, no, I think I more enjoyed the pop star angle than it would have had it been just bashing the suburbs the whole movie.
Nah, Jacob lives in the suburbs, kind of. And we don't really have a town big enough to have suburbs.
Not really, no.
But we have suburban style development.
Yes.
Brittany and Natasha kind of quickly figure out that, oh, this isn't my phone. Whose phone is it? Oh, it's Jordan phone.
Cahill.
So then Brittany's sister takes them to the hotel. She has her driver's license.
And she's in a really big rush. I think they're in a rush to get home for supper.
Yes, but also the sister
she's just weird.
Maybe like Jacob feels very pressured driving on the road.
Yeah,
and she
guess. Wants to beat
suddenly stops constantly, but not necessarily seems to be at stop signs or lights. Just randomly. She's just driving.
She drives and stops.
You know, maybe when you're first starting out, you're going too fast, and you're like,
drives and stops.
And that's why Jacob doesn't drive.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So they get to the hotel where Jordan is staying, and Brittany tries to talk to the hotel manager.
Well, they don't know that he's staying there yet, Lucas. So they need to ask.
Thank you, Jason. I don't even know who you are.
Jacob.
Jordan, Jacob. So then they talk, or Brittany talks to the hotel manager, and he says,
"No, he's not here,"
which is a good professional way to take it. And then Natasha's like, sister, let me take care of this.
Listen up, cracker.
No, she says, "Can I call you Kip?"
Kip.
And probably the funniest line of the movie is, "My name's Dave."
Well, he literally had like the name tag on where she could see it, and then it zooms in on that.
So Natasha kind of does a fast talking socialite upper class person kind of run around and being like, "Hey, we know he's here. Call up, say we got his phone." So the hotel manager does that, but then Eddie, the assistant, is like, "Ha, girls try that all the time. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? Tell them to fuck out of there." Mm-hmm. So he hangs up the hotel phone. Immediately he's like, it wouldn't be a missing cell phone. And then he sees, oh no, the phone's hot pink. Yeah. So then when he sees it, he's like, this isn't the right phone. But when he grabbed it...
Jordan's like, what was that all about? And he's like, well, he was like, oh, it's just some girls calling about... And then he like notices the phone's pink. And he's like, oh, just nothing. And then he runs away.
So instead of just calling the hotel manager to immediately say, hey...
He runs through the entire... hotel. Like he's booking it, and he
gets down to the main
gets down to the lobby, and he sees them leaving. They're in the van. The sister's driving away. He's chasing them. She slams on the brakes. He runs into the back. They freak out. They think they don't know what just happened. Brenda Song's like, that was just my head rattling around. My brain was rattling around or something.
And then they just drive off.
And he's like concussed, laying on the ground.
Because that's definitely something a 16-year-old who is so scared about driving, hears a big bump or thinks she might hit something, she would definitely just drive away and not look to see what happened. Yeah. Whether she killed somebody, whether she crashed part of the van into something. I just don't buy it. She don't care. But that's how the rest of the movie gets to happen.
Yeah. Literally, that's how they get away. This is how I win.
The next day... Jordan talks to his assistant, and then this is hitting home further about like, I don't know if I really want to be a pop star. I don't know. This lifestyle, it's not really me.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
But like, his friend really isn't a jerk.
No, but he's
it's the manager.
He's part of the entourage. He likes living that lifestyle.
Yeah. Yes.
But he's down for Jordan.
Yeah, 100%. Got his back in the end.
So the assistant then calls Jordan's phone number And the girls answer, and they're kind of hashing things out, and they're not really playing along with the system and saying, no deal. And then, we're getting another call, so they hang up on him to answer a call from Madonna.
Madonna calls. You don't hear her talk or anything like that.
And then they just scream, and then she hangs up.
Yeah.
Later on, they mention Gwen Stefani and that, the assistant just needs Gwen Stefani's number, so could they give it to him?
I'm surprised.
But Madonna seems a very weird pick for 2004.
I felt like they could have got somebody like actually famous on like the line for like.
Well, I'm not saying Madonna isn't famous.
Well, no, but I mean like physically, like talking, like verbally, like talking.
No.
They could have got somebody. Disney could have did anything
for a Disney Channel.
Well, I mean,
movie.
they could have just I don't know had Raven Simone.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they wouldn't say Raven Simone. They would just say Raven.
Raven.
Wow, that was so Raven on the telephone.
Oh, no.
So the next day, Brittany starts to feel some regret about stealing this phone accidentally and says, hey, let's return it. And Natasha's like, I don't know. But then they get a call from the assistant again. But then Brittany's like, hey, I'll only return this if you set us up to meet Jordan. So it's like, does she feel guilty? Or she's kind of using it to her advantage. They see on the phone, because his whole life is on there, that he has an upcoming hair appointment.
Yes.
And they see where it's at. So they call ahead, Natasha does, to the stylist and plays off that she is Jordan's personal assistant. And she says, he loves raisins. Just feed him all the raisins in the world.
Yeah, so it was raisins. It was you bow down to him when you speak to him.
Yes.
And
don't make eye contact and cut off all of his hair.
Cut off all his fucking hair. Every last strand. Cut to...
indeed.
Well, she says, they're not going to actually cut it or something. Like she makes like a side remark or something. And then the next scene cuts to him.
Somehow Jordan is blindsided by his hair being cut off. Even though he is sitting right in front of a mirror.
They have to turn him, Lucas. He's looking away from the mirror.
Sure, he is technically looking away from the mirror.
They turn him, and then he screams.
Unless he's just never had a haircut before, where he's Samson from the Bible. He's never had his hair cut. He doesn't know the sensation of how much hair is being cut. But
clearly, he doesn't.
He screams, and then they try to win him over with raisins, and then... we don't actually see what happens.
He should have hit the bowl. That would have been funny if he just slams the bowl out of her hand. But he doesn't. He's too nice.
That night on the MTV Music Update, Jordan Cahill's fans are in mourning over the loss of his hair. And his manager is also pissed. But then he immediately kind of reworks it in his head. And he's like, we're rebooting your image.
New song,
new style
hair,
of Jordan.
New you.
But then the manager still seems kind of pissed when he starts going in a different direction. So that's kind of... odd. But Jordan, he actually turns around and he's like, hey, Eddie.
He likes it. He calls the hairdresser, I think, and his girlfriend and tells him it's okay. He actually likes it.
He hears that this happened because his assistant called ahead, which he thought means Eddie, to say, hey, chop off all his hair. And he's like, this is what I needed. I was tired of my hair. It was my image.
Thanks Eddie. And Eddie's like in the middle of apologizing. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's the classic, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Thank you.
What? Thank me? You likey? And I'm like, okay.
But yeah, that's what happened.
But Brittany is kind of amazed that, oh my gosh, we have actual impact from fucking with this guy's life.
Yeah.
By stealing his identity, we can fuck with people's life.
Yeah. There's, I don't know, like the whole like ditching your friends for this new girl was kind of shitty.
I ride and die for Brenda Song. I ditch you.
Fair.
Hey, Brenda Song, you listening right now? Or you want to become the new co-host of this podcast with me? I kick Jacob to the curb. He doesn't even get to guest star on any episode.
Very hurtful. But like, I think it's a bad thing on Disney saying it's okay to ditch your friends for somebody that's cool. It's okay to like.
It would be okay for it to be in this movie if it had an actual message about friendship later on, but it doesn't.
They don't redeem it. They don't be like, yeah, we're friends. I'm sorry for being a little twat, you know.
I don't like how much you say that word on the show. So Brittany's messing around on Jordan's phone, sees he has an app section basically that says lyrics
and nudes,
but it has a password. So it's amazing that this phone has security protection for parts of it, but not just the whole phone entirely.
Yes.
But she can't figure out the password. Oh, let me look under my bed. Oh,
It's
Cooper.
my creepy ass brother.
And this reveal is identical. The beginning of the movie Teen Witch, which is hilarious.
Okay.
Everybody should watch it.
Who's it starring?
Nobody.
Oh.
It's a weird movie from the late 80s, I think, about a girl who... It kind of would be like a Disney Channel movie where it's a teenage girl who on her, I think, 16th birthday gets witch powers.
That's about Marnie.
And she uses them to make everybody at school love her.
Oh, wow.
Which leaves her friend behind. It's very goofy and fun. A very good, bad movie.
Yeah.
But I think after like a dream sequence, she wakes up in her room and probably one of the most iconic character reveals in history. She looks under her bed and her brother, her little brother, this chubby, equally kind of disturbing and demonic looking character is just chowing down on a big chocolate cake underneath this girl's bed.
What?
And that's his thing, is he's both creepy and throughout the movie he's just eating stuff constantly. Like there's one scene where he's making a mess in the kitchen, making like a big pizza pie or something. So it's just as baffling as Cooper in this of he's like the hacky kid, but also he's always trying to like creep on his sister in her room.
Oh yeah.
So
and he makes a comment about her crusty socks or something weird that are older than him.
I guess I missed that because I don't know, blindsided by this Teen Witch deja vu. But she's like, good, I need you to hack into this phone. And he asks, hey.
And he's like, what's the birthday? Oh, it's something 83. And he does that and he's like, no. Anybody born after something that's older than 14 uses the factory setting.
Which he doesn't say what that password is, if it's like 1234.
Well, you can't spoil that.
Password.
You can't spoil that for the people.
I was disappointed because I read in the plot synopsis that he hacked into the phone.
Yeah.
And I was really expecting, he plays video games. That's showing he's the nerdy brother.
Because we've seen that. We've seen that before. That's how they've
set up. Clue. There's the girl, little sister with all the spy gear.
That's how they've set it up in the past. But no, he just happens to know a password. He doesn't really serve a purpose in this movie either.
After that, that's all he does.
Yeah.
Is just be creepy in the room.
He gets in the phone and he's just creepy.
That's also how this kind of feels like it could serve as a pilot to a Disney Channel sitcom or something where the brother's just always in the room. Oh, that Cooper. It's not like he is out in the backyard hurting animals or anything or might do something bad in the future.
He's just a creepy kid who watches his sister sleep. That's cool.
Yeah, Angel does that in Buffy, and it's supposed to be really touching. So Brittany tells Natasha about these lyrics, and they really connected with me. This is really good stuff. How can we get this out to the world? So we get kind of both a brief shopping hat trying on montage, but then also let's control Jordan's life through his phone montage, because they're kind of going shopping for themselves, but then also for Jordan to pick out new wardrobe. So then it's this montage of like, they contacted his wardrobe lady and switched out all of his clothes.
Yes, they got rid of his Las Vegas look.
So then he just kind of looks like a bum. A grunge singer. He's wearing a beanie and denim jacket or some shit.
It's weird. I don't like...
I said to Jacob, even when he was wearing a fedora earlier in the movie, I was more on board with his image.
Yeah, he wears a hat now. Yeah, it's a beanie, right?
Yeah.
And it just covers all of his hair. So
as somebody
he just
who
looks like a bum. It's weird.
Often has short hair... You just can't wear a beanie. Don't wear a beanie when it covers all of your hair.
No,
you look like a cancer patient or something.
It looks weird.
It just doesn't work. And when you take it off, your hair is just a complete mess. Yeah. It's a disaster.
Don't do it.
I don't really know what else they do besides change his image, but I think maybe we're starting to hint at, maybe new music or something.
Something with his love life. Maybe that doesn't happen.
But it doesn't quite get there.
They goof up a lot of stuff, though, too. Like, they do some stuff that he likes. Oh, the dogs. You talk about the dogs.
That's it. They just bring two dogs
into
his
dogs,
hotel room.
and he loves the dogs. So they're doing stuff, I guess, I don't know how they figure out that he likes all of it. They just think he's just simple.
Who wouldn't like big, fluffy dogs?
Yeah. But they, also ruin stuff in his life, too.
But part of this montage is Brittany starting to dress more like Natasha.
Yeah.
And we see them walking by, like, her old friends during lunch and just blowing them off.
Yeah. She's still a bitch.
So that's still happening. Then I even skipped it over in my notes, but it needs to be brought up. One of the most B-plots of B-plots in Disney Channel movies is Brittany's mom. She's
saving the house.
She's a suburban housewife with nothing going on in her life.
Nothing.
So she's throwing it all into saving this historical house in the suburban area.
It's from 1903 or 4 or something.
We were discussing this while watching the movie that suburbs, if they're real suburbs, exist outside of major population centers. So generally it's former countryside or farmland or whatever. So this house is basically just like a house that was in the middle of nowhere.
It kind of looked like a farmhouse.
Yeah, it was not a nice looking house. No. And I don't think there was any details about
saved it.
What was special about it except that it is old. It's old. And nothing around there is old because it's the suburbs.
Yes. Correct.
So something Brittany does is she's trying to get Jordan to play at this old house rally.
To save it. Save the old dump house.
Gotta save it. To get this to happen, Brittany...
She's talking to the assistant on the phone.
Yeah, and she's blackmailing him. Or actually, before this happens, there's some accidental call where one of Brittany's friends calls Brittany's phone, which is still in the possession of the assistant, who picks it up and is like, hey, you gotta give me Jordan's phone back. So then the friend says, Brittany, do you know Jordan? And she's like, faux show, I do, biatch. Yeah. So then all these girls are mobbing around her, being like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yep, I told him to cut his hair and change his look. That was all me. We're besties.
Well, now Brenda Song's feeling like she's left out.
Yeah, because now she's no longer the center of Brittany's world.
She hates her.
So she leaves, and then Brittany's like, yep, and he's going to play at my mom's old house rally.
So they all go there.
So then she calls the assistant to blackmail him to be like, hey, if you don't send him to this old house rally, I will
delete all of his music.
Well, just everything on his phone.
Everything on his phone.
Whole life.
And he's like, no, I haven't
Which this was very...
Back it up.
This was very prescient of people's whole lives being on their phones. Yeah.
Well, Jordan asked him for years to back up his phone, and this dude never did. He even asked somebody at the
he asked one of the
music video
on the shoot,
and he's like, I don't know how to do that.
He walked away shaking his head, being like, huh, yeah, it's a fucking bitch to do that. I thought this was starting to hint at very much in Clueless or Mean Girls, where one of the girls starts to become more mean, that she used her power to purposefully make Jordan break up with his girlfriend, but it's kind of played off as more of an accident where she calls and Brittany picks up on the phone and says, this is Brittany, one of his good friends. You probably shouldn't come on Saturday. That's not a good day for Jordan.
So it just looks like he's cheating on her, basically.
Yeah.
And this causes the news, the weird MTV news channel to break another story.
That, oh no, they broke up.
That
Penelope, this girl, broke up with Jordan. So he's very depressed now.
And I don't know if we can just mention it now, but he's okay with that. Later on, we find he's that didn't really bother him.
A lot of celebrity relationships are
he's
all
image branding
relations.
He was fine with it. Thanked her.
So Brittany needs Natasha's help for, I don't know, trying to track down Jordan to get him to the old house rally. So she goes to Natasha's house for the first time.
And they have a fight.
And this is where we get the reveal,
Papa.
The usual suspects about Kaiser Soze, where the mom answers the door and it says, oh, it's so nice. I thought
you were the dad.
It's so nice for you to come home or come over because Natasha, she's so shy. She has no friends.
Yeah.
You can have this barbecue this weekend. Her dad's going to come home.
Her dad? What?
Oh, is he in Europe? Nope, he's in Buffalo, New York. So it's, oh my gosh. And we get flashbacks to her saying I lived in Europe. My parents are divorced. Yada, yada, yada. So it's she is a liar.
I don't think she said her parents are divorced. And she says it too. Her parents are separated or they're not together or something. And that her dad's away. And because she says that she lived in New York or from New York, which might be true.
No, it's not. The implication is all of the things she said were lies.
A lot of them, yes.
All of them.
Maybe.
The idea was, even if it could have been her dad traveled to those places, it's nope, he just goes to Buffalo, New York, and Columbus, Ohio, or some shit like that. Correct. We see those scenes play back of her saying those things in black and white. Yeah, they do. So it is very...
This is the start of the playbacks.
And not that I can really take too much credit because it's a fucking Disney Channel original movie, but I'm I kind of get the feeling that maybe she's lying about some of this stuff, but I thought that would have been too dark of a turn for this movie, but they went there.
And then they focused on it. And then
for about
drilled
5 minutes.
Home.
But it gets to be kind of an intense confrontation between the two, because Brittany calls her out for lying, and then Natasha's like, you lie too.
Yeah, you said you weren't a Jordan Cahill fan. Oh, Jordan. They just go back and forth.
So Natasha's lies were, Her dad is separated from her mom.
Yes.
She
Lived
traveled
in
around the
Madrid or
world.
something. Yeah.
She was a super cool, like, fashionista.
From New York.
But she has no actual friends, and she's supposedly shy most of the time.
Yes.
And then Brittany, she said she didn't like Jordan Cahill. That was an obvious lie.
Yeah.
She wants to be the center of attention. She wants to just be like Natasha. So if you think I'm not cool, why are you trying to be like me?
True.
And you're trying to be the center of attention like me. And then, they're going at each other. And
Mom comes up and says, "Girls,
what is going on?"
And then she storms out. And then Brenda Song yells, "See you later, cracker." And then they just... And then I think we see a...
So after just a montage of all of Natasha's lies...
We get another montage.
We get a montage, an emotional one.
This one's long.
Of basically all of their scenes together.
Every scene.
But apparently not even quite all of their scenes, because we get a montage later in the movie of even more scenes of them together.
So
you get probably at least 5 to 10 minutes of montages in this 75-minute movie.
You get a scene montage when they break up as friends. You get another scene montage when they become friends again. It's great. I almost thought we were going to get that little wardrobe montage like earlier. Like I think we got like one or two. Like
that was the first montage, but that was more them affecting Jordan's life.
Yes,
which we see some of those scenes. I think that's in the later montage.
Yes, there are a lot of montages.
So the montage ends with Brittany riding her bike up to a park, and she sits on a bench to be emo. She gets a call from the assistant. Oh no, Jordan's disappeared. We can't find him. But then at a park that was different from Brittany's park, because we get a split screen shot of them both sitting on park benches, Jordan calls Brittany.
Yes. And it looks like they're right next to each other or behind each other.
We assumed that was going to be the reveal.
They're sitting by the same fucking fountain.
We're across the pond or something. But no, that doesn't happen.
It was weird. There was a perfect opportunity. Bet money it was filmed in the same location.
Yeah, some of the conversation they have is weird. Like, oh, I don't really know if I like being a pop star. Well, what can I do? But then I think they get interrupted here. The manager's kind of
pulls up.
Yeah, the manager's kind of gathered up some goons and the assistant to
They're tracking her.
Trying to find Jordan. We learned that they're tracking Jordan's phone. Yeah. So that leads them to kind of be chasing Brittany around. But they still use a
map and a GPS, Garmin.
Well, I'm sure GPS shit back there was pretty bad.
Yeah.
She rides off on her bike and I guess loses them somehow.
Yeah, she gets away. They're in a van. She gets
back to her house and she's in her room. Oh, I'm trying to call Natasha. Please pick up. She doesn't pick up because Natasha's in her room. And then they make up. They're friends again.
Guess who else is in the room?
No, but we don't. So first they make up as friends. Oh, you were so right. Oh no, you were so right. I'm so sorry. I was so mean. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
They had right reasons to be mad at each other, and then they just throw it all away. It's just like in Xenon when they have that little friend blow up, and then they cast it off, or Z3 specifically. And then before they leave the house, what's that? Swing open the closet door, but Cooper's not in there. I could have swore I have a feeling I knew he would be there. Oh, well, they leave. Close the bedroom door. Ha ha ha. Cooper is hanging from a clothes hook on the back of the door. And then he goes, yes. So I guess what he's been trying to do is just stay hidden the whole time.
Yeah. But
he couldn't even creep in there. He could only listen.
How did he get up there? How did he get down?
Because he's a small boy. Because
I don't know how you unhook yourself from a door.
He's small because his size is made up with his demonic energy. So then they go to leave the house, but then the manager pulls up in the van and they run away screaming for like 30 seconds. And then they have a sort of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Ferris Bueller's Day Off moment where they they only really jump one fence in a suburban backyard, but they jump a fence and then they land on the ground, crash to the ground, and then there's like a cat noise. So it's
and a bunch of leaves fly.
Did they land on a cat?
I think we've had this before where they've, like, you see this in other movies though too, this whole like...
Yeah, but it's maybe something I just never thought about.
Cans crashing and stuff.
That happens in maybe like an alleyway and you can think, oh, there was a stray cat there. But if it's in somebody's suburban backyard, there should just be a cat wandering around. So
you wouldn't think so.
A cat died.
But it was by a pool area. So then they come across her neighbor that wants her to babysit.
So she says, Brittany. Oh, hi, Mrs. Peterson. See ya. Brittany. Yes. Could you babysit on Friday? Oh, sure. That sounds fine. So that was another kind of funny.
Like, she didn't care that she's
there.
just walking through her backyard.
Yep, that's the joke.
That's funny. It's good. It's good content.
So then they ride away from the goons, and I thought this was going to be...
Oh, but the brother saves them.
Well, he just comes up with the bike.
That's huge. How'd he get himself down off the damn door?
Yeah, I don't care.
And this is where he also says, well, they say, how'd you know? It's because I was listening. I was in there.
Oh, yeah, there's another scene where he's using a stethoscope to listen to the wall.
And they bang on it in his ears, and he does this weird cum face. A he-go face again.
Stop. I don't think not in the stuff I'm reading do guys usually make that face.
Oh, ahiko.
So then I thought this was going to be kind of a goofy bike car chase, but nope.
They get away.
It's another montage set to Stuck in the Middle with You.
Stuck in the middle. I don't know if we ever hear the middle part, because it's just stuck in the suburbs. It's stuck in...
No, they say stuck in the middle. They're not fucking ADRing something. Stuck in the suburbs with you.
Well, it was good.
Jokers to my right, that song.
Yeah.
I thought it was Steely Dan, but I looked it up and it's not, so I didn't put in who it was. But you know the song, and it's a weird song to put in this Disney Channel original movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like they have like a leisurely time. Brittany's driving the bike.
Yeah, there's
Brenda
a lot.
songs on like pegs on the back.
It's like 5 minutes of just like cruising around this park.
At one point, yeah, it seems like they're just in like the park constantly. But Brenda Song is eating an ice cream cone drumstick, and then she drops it. So that means they stop for ice cream at one point.
Yeah,
but Brittany's like, "No, I don't want to lick. I'm too busy." But it's like, "Bitch, you must have stopped for ice cream."
She'll get enough licks later on.
And then they just eventually kind of run into Jordan, who is being chased by fans who found him at a burger joint where he was hiding out.
Yes, she told him to stay put. He did not stay put. He left. And then, now he had all these fans chasing him.
So then they go and hide in what I thought was like a drainage gutter, but it turns out that it was just a weird...
Something at a park.
Tube that looks like a drainage gutter at a park.
Who knows?
So they're hiding out in there, and...
They leave their bike. They leave the phone.
First, Jordan is saying, I don't know if I want to be a pop star. And they're like, no, your new lyrics are really good. So then they decide...
Transfer.
Instead of... They say, we'll send out the lyrics. But actually, he has a whole recorded version of the song on his phone.
So they send out the entire audio.
Well, he says...
And lyrics.
We sent it to the whole world. How could you do that? Well, maybe not quite the whole world. So they send it to all of...
Their friends.
Brittany's former friends who are huge fangirls of Jordan.
Who sent it to 20 friends. Those friends sent it to 20 friends. So it reached the entire world in like the matter of 5 minutes.
That's how something going viral works. Yeah. That's how COVID-19 happened.
Wow.
It's Jordan Cahill's fault.
Jesus.
But the way they display this is like, they start off with like split screen of the 4 girls, and then it goes to 6 girls. But then it kind of just tops off at like 10 girls, and they just keep popping in the same girls over and over again. And it's like, come on, Disney Channel.
Nowadays, they could have got like fans. They could have got like Disney Channel fans sending in like, you could have 1,000 clips of girls on their phones. Well, even
something that happened with, I guess, Z3 when that movie came out, there was a promotion for people to count how many Z's were in the movie and then win a contest.
Really?
So they had fan engagement things going on with Disney Channel original movies. It was on IMDb or Wikipedia or something. It's the coolest part about that movie.
That's cool. How many Z's? We should have counted.
Well, it probably is out there now somewhere. Because people can pause.
Maybe nobody's ever won it. Maybe nobody's ever got the number right.
So then Jordan, also part of this text message that went out there that the manager eventually got from somebody because it went viral, is that Jordan's going to debut his new version of this song.
He's like, these aren't the lyrics. And Jordan's friends like, those are Jordan's lyrics.
So they're debuting it at the Old House rally.
Yeah, so that's where they head to next.
But they first leave the phone behind, so then the manager's goons track it to the park, but they're not there.
Yeah, but they left Jordan's phone there. They left their bike.
I guess they find out after they find the phone about where the place is that he's going to be. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done that. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
So on the way to the Old House rally, the sister's driving them now.
Yeah, so she must have picked them up from the park, but they lost the bike in the process.
And Jordan gives the huge reveal. I grew up here. You did?
You grew up here?
No, not really.
No, someplace like here.
But he grew up in the suburbs. Oh my God! You can be a pop star and grow up in the suburbs?
Oh my God.
Brenda's like, hey, Brittany writes songs. Oh my God, we're the same person.
She writes songs.
oh my gosh, this is definitely a line that probably resonated with shitty kids back in the day, but it made me so mad. So Jordan's like, it doesn't matter where you are. Suburbia is just a state of mind. And I'm like, actually, it can matter where you are, because if you aren't growing up as a privileged white girl in the suburbs and are maybe growing up in an impoverished area in the inner cities, you're not going to have the same opportunities and advantages. Jordan Cahill.
True.
Fuck you, Jordan.
No.
So that kind of made me mad. But otherwise, this movie's perfect.
It was a good movie.
Well, it's not over
No,
yet.
it was a good movie.
I'm only now remembering the ending of this movie, which is wild, and we're almost there. So they get to the rally, but oh no, the manager's there and the goons are there. But then they send Eddie, the assistant
Like,
slash
you're his
friend,
friend. You
of
go
Jordan.
talk to him. So he goes back there and he's like, Jordan, I know that I got to do this. This is something that I have to do. And then he goes in front of everybody and he says, listen, everyone. This is my good friend Jordan Cahill.
Well, and so it comes off as like, Eddie's like, if you do this, you might lose your record contract. That affects me too. We could be throwing everything away.
He's like, I know.
And then he goes out. He's like, I got to go out first. So it seems like, oh, maybe
Jordan thinks he's like, no way, no.
He's going to cancel him. And he's like, nope. He's just a hype man. Like, hey, who you guys want? Jordan Cahill. It's really easy to say.
It's all like the old women. It's all the old moms screaming, Jordan.
That's realistic.
Yeah, that happened. Like, there's old women cheering for him.
There's the biggest fans of, like, Boys to Men or whatever those, or the Boys Next Door.
Boys to Men. That was like
I mean, that was also a group, too, I think. Probably not currently, because they would definitely be infected with COVID. With, like, the Boys Next Door, like, cruises. There's
cruises?
Like, there was, like, you know, a cruise where it's, like, 40-year-old fans of Boys Next Door go.
Oh, God, that would be weird.
Yeah, definite infection zones there.
Yikes. AIDS, not COVID.
Yeast infection. So then he plays the song, but he's playing on an acoustic guitar.
But you can hear him, like, he doesn't have any mic, he doesn't have any...
I think I didn't pay attention. I think on IMDb that one of the goofs said he wasn't strumming the guitar.
Oh, probably not.
I was more focusing on how creepy he looked when he was lip syncing the words, because he was making me uncomfortable. Then we get another montage. Of this one is more
Wendy Wu and
Brittany and Natasha, mostly focusing on them manipulating and controlling Jordan's life. So that's kind of a weird one to be like, remember those times? So it's unclear how much time actually happens in this movie.
How many days? Is it just like 2 days?
It could be very few, because it would be kind of weird for Jordan to be in this suburban town for a music video shoot for so long.
Yeah.
But
it would have just been a couple
I think
days.
it would need to be at least like a week or two, because for like Britney's fashion transformation into being more like Natasha.
Oh, that's true. Maybe like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal.
Sure.
Because they had their soccer
holiday
game.
weekend.
Yeah.
The song ends. Everybody's cheering.
She's
fade
cheering
out.
with her friends. They're cheering with their friends.
Oh yeah, they're
again.
like front row dancing.
Yeah.
The crowd starts clapping, and they're very offbeat.
The mom and dad and the sister are into it.
Yes, and then they fade out. Oh, here's that house. It's all restored now. Jordan Cahill saved the house.
Everybody's playing frisbee.
But some things never change, because the soccer mom of the neighborhood is dropping off all the girls from soccer practice.
And Brenda Song's in there now.
She is.
Who'd they kick out? Did they kick out a girl? One of the girls? Did she get, like, forgotten?
I don't know.
Left out? They must
I know, because they're all in the house at the end. So Brittany's on the phone with Jordan, who's saying, apparently, hey, come to New York. A lot of stuff's happening in suburbia. It's still a cool place.
Yeah.
It's just a state of mind, Jordan.
Yeah.
Fuck New York.
Yeah.
So then they get off of the phone, and then
Run
it's
inside.
4:00. But then it gets really.
This is the
I was feeling like it was
part.
almost Lynchian, like dreamscape. Like, this isn't right. What's happening?
No,
the first thing that's weird
real.
is Cooper is playing video games, but then he immediately switches
Turns
the
it
channel.
off.
He's like, "Girls, you were almost late."
Yeah.
Which before he didn't care about the music stuff. So they switch on the
channel. Neither did the parents. Neither did the sister.
Yeah, like the whole family's gathered around and be like, haha, music. So then they switch on the music channel, and then we start to see the song start, and we're seeing the girls themselves are in this music video.
They're dancing.
But then instead of Jordan, it's Eddie the assistant, who is the singer. And we're like, oh, okay, maybe they're doing like a duet or I don't know if that's even really a thing, like 2-boy group or whatever.
Yeah, it never happened.
But we're like, oh, where's Jordan? And then it's just
the whole song.
They're dancing in the living room. They're dancing in the music video. It's Eddie the assistant. And then the movie just like ends.
Oh, it was the weirdest thing. It's never explained. I was listening the whole time. Lucas was probably taking notes about it the whole time. He missed it. I don't think it exists. We also forgot to mention at one point, I just want to bring it up now because it's kind of weird, but the lyrics of the song that were being sung, I think during this, were blurred out at some point earlier in the movie.
I forgot about that.
It was blurred out.
It was during the montages where it was implying that maybe Brittany was writing music somehow for Jordan.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was lyrics. We had the title of the song on like a loose leaf sheet of paper, and then below it there was like roughly a paragraph that was blurred out.
It was very strange.
And logos get blurred out or stuff like that. So it's like
I would guess that was
fuck.
I bet that was in the original movie, but maybe on Disney Channel they finally got blurred out.
Yeah, who knows? That seems weird for copyrighted lyrics to be there, or maybe it turned out to be something where the set designer put it there and it actually was just like a real song. And then they're like, what the fuck, you can't just imply that Britney wrote fucking When Doves Cry by Prince or whatever. So yeah, it's just kind of a weird ending where it just
not explained.
Life goes on. And
Jordan Cahill's in New York, and Eddie's $1 million man.
So I don't know if it was maybe
and Eddie's got weird, like, piercings in his ears. He just has this weird look about him.
He's got slick back hair.
Yeah, it's very strange.
So I don't know if it happened when they were in the tunnel or...
Well, what was also
driving, where it's like, hey, you know what? This is my last show. I'm going to save this old house, and then I'm done.
When they were coming into the house, were they, like, screaming, like, oh, it's Jordan time? I don't think... Were they? They must not have been.
I think
it would have made sense, but like if they were,
I don't even know if they're that big fans of Eddie.
No,
because it was basically Jordan's song.
They're basically just fans of themselves in the music video. That's
I think that was why they were really excited is that they were on TV. So I don't know if it was like Jordan shifted and he's writing the songs, but Eddie's performing them. Yeah, very odd and not something we can easily look up. Why did this happen? Because
we couldn't find anything.
There's not giant fandoms discussing the ending of Stuck in the Suburbs. But we're out of the suburbs now. We're no longer stuck there.
Dunzo.
That was the end of the movie.
The end.
And you already know from our retrospective episode, which you've already listened to. Everybody should listen to it. You don't even need to listen to the first 50 episodes. You can just listen to that one. But this did not make it into my top 10 favorite DCOMs. It didn't make it into my bottom 5 or so or least favorite DCOMs. This was decent. We didn't really mention it, but there's kind of some fun fashion in it. Very clueless levels of like over the top fashion, which we also kind of got in Get a Clue.
Brenna Song or whatever.
Yeah. Which also could have been, that's something in Edward Scissorhands of like the ridiculous stuff that people wear in the suburbs as a point of satire, but that wasn't really the point. It was like, they're cool.
No.
There's a lot in this movie for how short it is. There's some critiques of the music industry. There's the issues between like Eddie and Jordan and their background.
Well, just the end of the movie. I don't understand it. I hope if you guys have seen it, if you guys can do some research, we couldn't find anything. Why the ending? What does it mean?
Not since Who Was the Binoculars Person in Rip Girls has there been such a mystery in a Disney Channel original movie. And that's something I can appreciate, that this is both a short DCOM and also one that has an ending that doesn't make any sense to me. Kind of like Get a Clue, but like that one, there was the background being like, oh, they reshot this ending.
Yes. We found out later, so that's why.
And then there is all of the friendship issues, which could have been an easy focal point. And
they never apologized. They never said sorry for being such twats.
Like, cut out the fucking pop star shit. If they did that, then it would kind of just be like Clueless, where, this new friend comes in, this other friend becomes cool, leaves the other friends behind. But like, I love Clueless, I love Mean Girls. That's just like a type of movie I would like.
Yeah.
So for this whole like pop star, this was kind of even...
I like the pop star's spin. Like, the pop star doesn't like being famous. They just like making music.
I did enjoy the way they manipulate his life.
Yeah.
But I don't think the movie kind of played up enough beyond that breakup with the girlfriend about kind of how fucked up the shit that they were doing
Well,
was.
like, they didn't want to, like, kill him. They
they
changed his hair. They changed his wardrobe. They got him to dump his girlfriend.
When Brittany was opening up to her friends about her knowing him, she was just listing off of, like, all these things he's done recently. That was me. Yeah. I did that. And
I mean, hair, wardrobe, girlfriend. Those are all pretty big things.
Yeah.
For a pop star.
It's like he was the hologram she was controlling.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think this was...
solid movie.
Yeah, I think it's above mid-tier, top 20 or so, maybe. That's going to be this episode. Wrap up real quick. You can write in to tell us where you place Stuck in the Suburbs. Where is it stuck in your Disney Channel original movie list? Yeah. Write us at awholenewpod@gmail.com. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google. I don't know what it's called. That was me saying, Google, whatever. Spotify, Stitcher, I guess Verbal, which I think they tricked me into setting up the podcast there so they can just send me notifications about other podcasts that I definitely don't want to listen to. So I don't know. Check us out there. And YouTube.
106K.
Rate us, review us, subscribe, bell, comment, like, share, I don't know, annotate. Send, like, reaction videos. Remember when those were a thing on YouTube where you
could reply with them?
Yeah, that was wild, man. But we're going to wrap this one up because we still got another mini bonus episode
you've already
to record.
listened to.
You've already listened to it.
So
hopefully you still listen to this one and you just don't feel like a sense of completion after, hey, 50 DCOMs, you know what? That was a good run. I don't really need to listen to it
Number
anymore.
51.
Stuck in the Suburbs definitely gave me some
hope.
American Beauty vibes.
You gave me hope for the next 50.
So I have a question for you, Jacob.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag floating in the wind? I think that's how it goes.
Do you feel?
Men are like another species. They're really hard to get through to. Like, take Rhett, for example.
Rhett? Capoletti? You like Rhett, Polly.
You think he's weird, don't you?
Well, I mean, he's not exactly my type, but yeah, I guess he's cute.
Yeah, and he's really nice, and he's really funny. I heard him in class once, and he has the cutest walk.
Yeah, I guess I could see you guys together.
I'm king, and they know it. When I snap my fingers, everybody says short. I'm hot, and you're not. But if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that.
Okay?
No, I'm not in the mood. Oh my God.
You can dream until you blue, but you will never top that.
Let's go back the other way.
No, just go up and talk to him.
Are you kidding? I'm so embarrassed. Look at how funky he is. I will never be hip.
I'm hot, and you're not. But if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that. Top that. You can do all that you can, but you'll never top that. Top that. So top that.
Supersonic, idiotic, disconnected, not respected. Who would ever really want to go and top that? Such a waste of pretty face, but hanging in your nose space. I wish that you would take a look and really stop that. Top that. Well, stop that. I don't really give a about trying to top that. Top that. Stop that. I wish you finally take a real look and really stop that.
What's